am Eleni, and this is the Mamamoo podcast, an online space I created almost 5 years ago because I wanted to give a platform to the many voices in Cyprus that crave positive changes and are actually taking actions to make those changes a reality. When I started this podcast, I never imagined that some of those voices would be young ones, that I would get the chance to sit down with teenagers and learn about their views and perspectives. Thanks to one of my dear friends and a Gumera of mine, who is a teacher at the Pascal English School in Nicosia, who recommended 3 of her students for a podcast. On this episode, that's exactly what happened. Stephanie, Neno, and Theodora are 16, 17, and 18-year-olds, and they came to the studio one morning last week to talk about a project that they've been working on called ReBlue. It's a school project that aims to fight plastic pollution on the beaches of Cyprus. But I won't be telling you anymore because I want you to hear all about it from them. However, that's not all we talked about, as the girls seemed eager to discuss more social issues along with social media, influencers, the climate crisis as their generation sees it, and we also talked politics. Now, on with the show. Right, we're starting. Welcome to the studio, girls.
Thank you.
Today I have Theodora, Stephanie, and Neno with me, and Naya, who doesn't have a microphone, but she will say her bit if she needs to. And we're talking about environmental issues today, the climate crisis, all within the context of your generation and your mindset. So first, let's get started on the project, which is called ReBlue.
Yes.
Okay. Neno, do you want to tell me a bit about the project and why did you start this project?
Basically, we did some research and we found out how much waste is left behind at our beautiful beaches here in Cyprus, and realized that we had to do something about it. So back in October of 2022, we started this project, which took initiative in April of 2023. We built some boxes out of wood and we painted them. And our idea was that instead of throwing away those games and toys that we use at the beaches, we could recycle them somehow. And people could reuse them, play with them. And in this way, not only we could help our environment be a little bit free of plastic in the ocean, but as well, we could also help people in our community that cannot afford to buy those toys over and over again.
Every year, yeah. Stephanie, when Neno says waste, what kind of waste apart from beach toys would you often find on the beaches?
Basically any kind of plastic you can imagine, bottles, lighters, rubber bands,
Swimsuits.
There's a lot
Probably
of
like
things.
empty sun lotion bottles.
Any kind of bottles, like drink bottles, anything.
Do you feel that the problem is our mentality or the lack of dustbins as well? Because you often see people walking around the beach like, where do I go?
I've been in that position as well. But in some of the beaches I've been to, there's quite a lot of trash bins. I think it's a mix of both, actually. Like the mentality here is like everyone is gonna do something for you. Like mostly, like our parents, we're very connected, and like we expect them to do everything. So I think it's like common to leave your trash and someone else will pick it up.
That's true.
So it's the mentality here.
Yeah,
I think.
we tend to enable our kids a lot.
Yeah,
that's it. So if these beach toys weren't collected by you guys, where do they go? What happens to them?
Basically, they get washed out into the sea and eaten by animals, disturbing their natural habitats. So they stay in the sand sometimes also. So, but the biggest issue is that they go into the ocean and they disturb the animals.
Yeah, that probably is one of the biggest problems. So when we say circular economy, what do we mean by that? No.
Basically, circular economy is when we try to reuse something over and over again. For example, let's go with the reusable water bottles. Instead of using it once or twice again, it's something that we reuse almost every single day.
Okay. All right. Okay. And how is that different to recycling?
There is a difference because let's say when you recycle paper, you can use it once.
Okay. All right. I get it.
And you have to buy it every time, or there are the straws that you use 3-4 times and then you have to throw away. But we have the metal straws, for example, which you can use every single day over and over again.
Yeah. We have quite a few options now. There's really no excuse to use plastic straws. Stephanie, how does the project fit into the circular economy?
So basically, all the toys we find or people find on the beaches, they put it in the boxes, and with the people who don't have toys or they want to get from there, they get from the box, they use them, and they put them back in. That's our goal.
Okay.
So they keep reusing these toys over and over again, which is circular economy.
Yeah. Okay. Will there be like, I don't know, big signs, or will there be like a sort of campaign informing maybe the tourists or whoever comes to Cyprus that this is
we have our website, and an Instagram.
I'll put that in the show notes so people can find that later.
And also we gave a leaflet to the beach guards there that's on the beach, and also the box has like a big sign on top of it that says ReBlue, borrow, reuse, replay, and there's also a sign of how to use it.
All right, brilliant. And where are these points located, Theodora?
We have points in Kapari, Malama, Landa, Makronissos, and Konos. And on the 21st of June, we will also be adding boxes to Glykonero and Vathia Gonia.
Okay, excellent. Very good. Oh, that's exciting. Right. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention about the project? How many kids were involved in this?
In the beginning, I think we were like 6-7 people, and it was upper school in the beginning. But this, which was last year, and this year there's a lot of people. We're like 20-25 people, and there's younger kids from the Greek school, which is not going to be the same school. But yeah, it's improved immensely, like very much. Everyone's involved. They saw in the beginning what we did, and I think many people were inspired and liked it a lot because it was something new for our school to be a part of that big of a project.
Yeah.
We were already a blue school, but that helped like throughout our school spread information.
Well,
about
it's a new thing, but also it's a very simple thing. It's not complicated in any shape or form, and actually any beach could do this without hassle.
Yeah, you don't need a fancy box or anything, any type. You can have a place where they can put them in.
Yeah. I also want to add two things. First of all, I want to say that a lot of people at the beginning thought that maybe people would steal the toys, not return them, would take them home. We kind of were scared of that as well. We thought that it would fail at the beginning. We were a bit worried. Even my mom told me that, I don't think that's a good idea, honey. But a year later, we can see the feedback that we got was amazing. The boxes were overflowing.
No one was stealing old beach toys.
Even if they stole, our boxes were still overflowing. We had so many toys, which is why our boxes are bigger this year.
And I think,
so we were we were just so excited about the response that we got from our community.
Yeah.
And
were people taking them back after using them? Did you see that it was working properly?
Yeah. We had spent a day when we dropped off the boxes there. We spent like maybe half an hour on every beach, and we could see the start like of that. I wanted to mention when Neno said that they might steal, and I think if they did steal, they had a need to steal.
That's it.
So
There you go.
it wasn't really a big problem because there are so many toys, they're unlimited. So even if someone steals a small thing or something, they need it, and there's more for everyone else. So
Yeah.
I don't think now it's a big issue.
Yeah.
Even in the beginning, we thought it was going to be a very big issue.
Yeah.
I also want to add how excited we were last year when we launched our project. We got funded. We were selected as one of the 60 schools to be funded by the Foundation of the Environmental Education for the Litter Less Plus campaign. So this is how we were able to pretty much kickstart our project.
Yeah, and feel passionate about it.
Exactly,
Because when
yes.
you put value to what you're doing, it means more.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's move into questions that I have for you now. We used to call it climate change. Now we call it climate crisis. Is this something that your generation talks about? Is it something that you care about? Is it something that worries you, Theodora?
Definitely, because climate change is a serious issue that will affect future generations. It will affect us as we're growing up. It will affect our kids as we're growing up. And I think adults don't really understand that. So we, as a new generation, we're trying our best to improve the situation. And it's going well, but on the other hand, we don't really get a lot of help from the older generation.
The adults in the room are not being adults. Stephanie, is it something that you talk about with your friends?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
I mean, we have a heat wave outside right now. I think it's a result of all the climate change and climate crisis that's going on. I mean, it's affecting us now. It's something we talk about at least once a month, I think, with my friends. It's always at the top of our heads. It's always something we want to improve. And I think a prime example of our generation doing something about it is Greta, I forgot her surname.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an activist. Even if some things she might do, they're not proper, but she's trying to get a message out there that I think everyone should hear. Even if they don't believe it's true or don't agree with it, it's there, it's a fact. So they should do something about it.
It's funny that you said people don't believe it's true, because we've reached that point now, haven't we, where people, it's like this is a conspiracy theory or something. Neno, do you see this?
I find it truly shocking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I cannot believe that there are people out there who believe that climate change, climate crisis does not exist.
And we're talking about smart people, not just like your average layman.
For me, I have just one answer. Come to Cyprus and go outside. Stay out at 2 p.m., like under the sun for half an hour without water, and tell me if you can survive.
But it's not just the sun. We've also got the problem with the dust in Cyprus.
Yeah, it's
Which,
awful.
riddle me this. What's that? Why is that? Is that not part of the climate crisis?
Of course it is, but I think that the immediate thing not the media, of course not, but it's kind of like out of our reach, let's say.
I think the dust is also maybe because of the fires, so that's because of climate crisis, but also maybe war. It's happening close and the wind's blowing, or the desert. So the dust is always going to be here because of the desert.
Yeah.
But of course, it's increased over years because of the climate crisis.
Yeah. And the lack of trees that we have.
Yes.
I think the dust contributes to climate crisis. I think it's not really a result of it. I think it contributes to it because of our activities. More dust is created, so
Yeah.
it contributes to it.
Yeah, you're right. And especially in Nicosia, where we tend to drive so much and use our cars
Everywhere.
everywhere. So I wanted to go back to what you said about people not believing in it. Are we talking about people of your generation as well? Do you come across kids your age
I mean, I
who
think
will argue this?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's some people that do not believe in the climate crisis that's going on at our age, but I think older as well. I think in every age, it's what the older person believes. It's passed down through you. It's what I think with family. So it depends really, but I'm sure there's people my age that believe that. I haven't met one personally yet, but I'm sure
They're out
exist.
there.
Yeah.
They're out there for sure.
I also think that a lot of people don't care. Because when I was younger, even, I'm not old, I'm not even 18, but even 8 years ago when I was in primary school, we didn't really talk that much about climate change. It was just one discussion that we had 1 year, I think, when I was in year 6 of primary, and that's it. I learned about the problem when I went to high school. So I feel like if we start talking about it through to younger kids, like we did, we went to our primary school, all of us, and we talked to our students a couple of times, different year groups. If we let them know from now what is happening in our world, in our environment, I think that way they'll grow up thinking about it and they'll care a bit more.
So one of my questions was, do you feel that the education system is doing enough for the crisis?
Unfortunately, now I think not, but I think they're reaching a point that they might be. I mean, even in class, when the kids are playing, cleaning up after that or putting the trash in the dustbin is like learning from a young age. If you do that in the classroom, you're gonna do it everywhere. It's so easy, and it doesn't have to be boring. Or like when we went, we did a game with them, like trivia. Which answer do you think is correct? They were facts. They enjoyed it and they learned stuff because later they were asking us questions about it. So I think it doesn't really need to be in a boring way. If the teachers or whoever comes to speak about it feels passionate about this or even understands it, I think it will benefit younger people a lot.
Theodora, do you feel that the education system needs to be doing a bit more?
I think that the education system definitely improved during the years on this specific topic, but there could be more. They could be doing a lot more than they're doing now. Even though it's an improvement, they still could be doing more stuff and in a better way that's more engaging towards the students, because they do some activities, but they're not always engaging and understandable towards the younger audience.
So if you had the chance, if I gave you like now 10 kids, 10 8-year-olds, let's say, year 2, year 3, and you had the freedom to engage them in this topic, what would that look like? What would you do?
Definitely get their attention by playing a game with them, an educational game, about recycling and reusing to get them introduced into that concept. And then also explain to them, but in simple words. But I think the best way is through games and engaging activity.
Yeah, we need to remember the age group that we are working with. But I feel like Cyprus has a bigger problem with the lack of education. For example, kids did not go to school last week because of how hot it was, because there are no air conditions at our school. So not only they're behind in education, but they're also behind in adapting to our climate, to our weather. My neighbor's kid, my neighbor was working and her kid couldn't go to school because of the weather. So she left her kid with us.
Yep.
Because this is where Cyprus is.
Yeah.
We're so
well,
far
there was a mum who wrote a letter to the Minister of Education, and she told her, I'm dropping my kid off at your office tomorrow where you have air conditioning because I have to work and you've shut down the schools. It's interesting that you mentioned the schools and the air conditioning because it's something that I've been very interested in lately. But I've had a few conversations with specialists who have said that actually just installing air conditioning units is not the answer. There's a lot that needs to be done when it comes to the actual structure of schools. Again, there's a lack of trees, there's a lack of shaded areas.
Yeah.
What do you see when you hear people talking about the air conditionings at schools?
Well, I think everyone thinks if they put in AC, it's all gonna be okay, but they're still gonna go outside for break. They still have PE. They still have things to do outside and not only inside. So the air conditioning is not the only solution. Of course, it needs a shaded area for everyone to fit in at least for a second. I mean, our school years ago now didn't have a place, but we had installed a large tent, in the central yard, and there's almost everywhere shaded area, like behind the cafeteria, underneath the cafeteria, outside the canteen. So it's always somewhere someone can go to cool down, and if necessary, someone will open the classroom to go in the classroom. Or there's secretary area, it's air conditioned and it's inside. But I think that not all schools have this. I've been to schools I've seen. It's mostly sun. It's like it's just the classrooms and sun. So I think trees or tents even would do the trick.
But also, can you imagine like having to sit exams in one of those classrooms?
We're very lucky because our school is now fully air conditioned. Every classroom has an air condition.
I think they did this.
But they did
this year.
Yes,
the AC.
It's this year. It started this year. We're very happy and very grateful for it. And we're a bit lucky because our school is a bit. We always have a little bit of wind. It's always a bit windy.
You have a breeze.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're very grateful for that as well. It helped a lot.
Because you're far out. You're not stuck in the city centre where most schools are.
But I went to school in the city centre for one of my extracurricular activities, and it was during the summer. There was no shade. There was nothing. I was in that classroom. We were training for something. And I remember I was just dying. I could not concentrate. I was sweating.
Yeah.
I cannot even imagine about having an exam in those conditions.
I was looking at the research the other day. There is actually research that shows that with every half degree that the temperature goes up, you have 1% decrease in attention.
Really? Makes sense, though.
That's 1% a decrease with every half degree that goes up.
I mean, you're too invested in how you're gonna survive this heat.
Exactly.
I think.
Let alone try and remember what you've got to do and say and write.
And also, I'm sorry, but we need to add that sometimes when we're taking external exams and not school exams, we're not allowed to go to the toilet. Recently, Stephanie and I, we had a 4-hour exam. We could not go to the toilet. The AC was kind of working,
and the
not
room
really.
was packed.
It was
so.
4-hour exam.
Yes.
And no toilet.
No toilet.
I'd be suing them.
Not only that, we were like 30 people in one classroom. The AC was barely working, and we kept drinking water because it was hot.
And then you needed to go to the toilet
and
even
we needed
more.
to go to the toilet, and we couldn't go. How am I supposed to focus on my exam?
We had like a 15-minute break. Everyone was at the bathroom, so no one could go to the bathroom. Like we almost made it barely because we needed to go to the bathroom, and we went last.
Is that lack of trust then? They don't trust you? What is it?
I'm not sure because it's like almost everyone does it. Lenomathia.
4 hours?
Yeah,
4 hours.
it was
part 1 of the exam.
Part 1, and then there was part 2, writing. So the part 1 was listening, writing, reading, comprehension.
Reading,
Okay, my stress levels have just gone out. My God, guys.
I feel
Okay.
like it's also it's a hassle for the teachers for us to go to the toilet. That's the thing, I believe. Because at our school, if you want to go to the toilet, you have to tell the person who is
in charge.
In charge, and then they'll call someone to take you to the toilet. They'll wait for you. They'll take you back to class just to make sure that everything is running smoothly. I don't think it's lack of trust. I just feel like it's a more controlled, and I like that because everything is fair for us, for everyone.
Yeah,
which is good. But when you have so many students, because in one classroom there are 30 students, if everyone has to go to the toilet, how many teachers would they need? And they're all volunteers.
But then again, 30 kids, shouldn't there be an assistant teacher in there?
We had 2 teachers in our classroom, but I feel like there are not enough teacher volunteers for them to be able to do that. They need volunteers.
So it's might not be lack of trust, it's lack of staff.
Exactly.
For sure.
So I feel like some people just don't care enough to give their time. Even imagine a small thing that would help. One more volunteer would help. And it's not helping our economy, it's helping your kids survive in this weather.
Yeah. And go on to do whatever they want to do in the future. So I wanted to ask you about social media when it comes to environmental issues. Do you see a lot of this kind of content on social media that has this sensitivity towards raising awareness about environmental issues?
I actually do not see it
Really?
as commonly, and that's a bit worrying.
You probably see more makeup videos than you do.
Actually,
Yeah, which isn't bad. They're lovely. I love makeup videos, but yeah, there's not that many.
yes,
On
and the
this
ones
subject.
that you see, again, they're not entertaining. They don't
Engage.
they don't engage you to watch the video. So probably that's why there isn't enough.
Okay.
So to add to that,
Go.
so on TikTok that I watch, I've seen quite a lot of videos about climate change, maybe from influencers, maybe from news channels, anything. Like I just saw yesterday on Instagram from BBC that there was fires in Cyprus and Greece. So I mean, it's always there for me. Like it's always somewhere, even if it's a small post.
Yeah.
And as Timini said, it's not really entertaining, so it might be a 10-minute long video, and I have to sit through it to understand one point.
Yeah. And the problem with you kids is that your attention span is
Exactly
going down.
Exactly.
I see it because I've
Might
got
be
a
from the
13.
heat, though.
It could be. Okay, there you go. You can blame the heat. That's not a problem. I've got a 13-year-old son, and I noticed that his attention span when it comes to longer than 1 minute is going down.
Yeah.
But maybe what Theodora meant, I mean, I don't have TikTok, so I have no idea what's going on there. But my question was more, as we have makeup influencers or social justice influencers, do we have something like that when it comes to the environment, apart from Greta?
Not as
Not
big.
as many.
No.
There are a lot of people, a lot of activists who try to get the message out there. There are some people whose their Instagram pages are dedicated to showing what's happening to our environment. But their content is not being promoted as much as the makeup content is.
Yeah.
Makeup content, dance content, football content. I mean, yesterday there was a post on BBC about a broken nose, a football player's nose. I mean, okay, understand he's not broke, he was playing football, but we have much bigger issues to talk about than a broken nose. I'm sorry. I just find it funny.
It was something we were talking about yesterday because I showed her the post. But I think one YouTuber that has Mr. Beast, he has a philanthropist channel. Okay.
Can't believe I'm going to say this, but I love Mr. Beast.
I've
actually come to the point where I think he is a really good influence.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I watch it with my younger sisters, and he has these videos that he's like, it's like fun videos. It's 10 minutes. Some other YouTube channels are like 15, 20, 30. So he's just like 10 minutes. He goes, he builds, he plants trees, or he builds houses for other people, or he cleans up a whole river, and you just see the
and he does it with in catchy ways as well. Even like visually,
so I think
it will draw you in.
He's a really good example of how people maybe should start acting. I mean, he has the funds. That's probably the reason why he's doing that, and it's difficult for everyone to find those kind of funds.
Yeah.
But I think he's a good starting point for many because he has a separate channel, and I do watch that channel as well as his other one that's really famous. So
when we're finished, send me the link for his
will.
other channel so
Okay.
I can put that in the show
Yeah,
notes
yeah.
as well. Neno, do you want to say something?
I just want to add that we need to remember that our focus should be the younger generation, not the older generation.
Even younger than you?
Of course, younger than me.
Okay.
I feel like I'm too old. I'm not 18, but I feel like I'm too old. Do you want to know why? Because they're kids. I feel like my...
You know you're talking to a 40... or for almost 43-year-old here.
I completely agree with you, but I think that the change is going to happen from like even younger kids than
You're
me.
right. You're right. Our 6-year-olds, our 8-year-olds, our 10-year-olds. You're right.
Not
you
only
are.
that, I feel like kids my age, they have their priorities now. Their mind is set on one thing, and that's it.
What's that?
Like, I know I'm gonna talk about some of my classmates.
Yeah.
Their focus is university. They don't care about anything else on university.
Do
That's
they
it.
still care about university?
Yes.
They do.
Yes. From what I'm seeing, we have athletes in our school. Either they care a lot for their for their career, their athletic career,
Yeah.
or they care about university. That's our focus.
Okay.
But of course, there are some people that don't really care because their parents have the money and they can do whatever they want. But my friends and people that I know mostly care about what's going to happen. They want to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like when you teach a young kid what's happening in our world, they'll care a lot. And they'll
Yeah.
try to change that as they're growing up. They'll try to teach their friends. And they'll also try to kind of force their parents into that.
Yeah.
Because I know that I forced my grandma to save all the bottle caps. And now she has a room full of bottle caps, and that's it. I'm not even kidding. And she's begging me, please tell me where to take them. I need the extra space
I
because she
love
doesn't
it.
have extra space.
I love it. Yeah.
Our school
think-
started that, yeah, because we have to take bottle caps and you get house points.
Yeah.
So I started collecting as well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from
okay.
year one, and I cannot. I'm thinking about it now. I saw all the bottle caps that just my grandma, who's one person, used during like the 6 years that I've been to that school, and I'm so shocked. We never think about how much waste we produce. as
Yeah.
humans.
Well, what do you think about now that they can't come off that little thing where they're stuck?
They're not very functional.
Someone said it was the worst idea someone has ever had.
Well,
I don't
think-
know. What do you
I
think?
think it contributed to the help of plastic waste because usually the bottle cap ends up somewhere else
Yeah.
differently than the bottle.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how much that helped. Maybe a little bit, but that's just because it doesn't go to different places. It still goes somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. And it's kind of like the plastic straws philosophy as well, where we banned plastic straws, but actually plastic straws weren't really the problem. It was something else. Have you seen that documentary on Netflix called Seaspiracy?
No, I
I
haven't.
think so.
Have you? It's this document. I saw it a few years ago. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. It's about this couple that started on this journey to discover the problem behind plastic straws. And they realized that it wasn't plastic straws that were the problem. It was conventional fishing. The fact that they would throw gigantic, almost football court-sized nets in the ocean and just pull up anything and everything. And that was actually doing way more damage than the plastic straws.
Not only that, I want to add two more things.
Yeah,
The first one is that you have a Starbucks cup in front of you.
I do.
There is
It's not
paper
plastic.
straw.
It's paper.
It's a paper straw, but
But it
the
has
rest
plastic.
of it, it's full of
Yes,
plastic.
I know.
Which is so funny. Like
I know.
I feel like at least the cup should be paper or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but still, even the paper cup has some plastic in
Of
it.
course it does.
Yeah.
But the part that I find even more funny is that yesterday I was at the movies with Stephanie and they introduced this new thing, the reusable plastic straws. So
Reusable plastic straws.
yes.
Yeah.
So basically they're just a little harder like
Yeah.
than your normal straws.
Yeah.
And
It says reusable on the package.
I noticed yesterday
That's
that
all.
it says reusable on the that's it.
Miss Christina is saying that they did the same outside right now, where she was at the cafe there.
Oh, and what? No, sometimes they give us the wrapped in plastic. The plastic
Great.
wrapping, and it says reusable on.
But the funniest thing is that you have a plastic straw in a paper cover.
Yeah.
And the way they're trying to like go around this law is by writing reusable on the
Yeah.
paper cover.
Yeah.
Like I was so shocked yesterday.
Yeah.
Even personally, I was a bit glad that I had a plastic straw. I'm not going to lie, I was, because the paper straws, they're just awful.
Yeah. Thank you for
it's-
being honest about that. It's true. You need like 2 of them.
Yeah, we've had that.
I-
But we take 2 inside the cinema so we can stick the one in when the other one
Because
finishes.
one's going to just go awful in a couple of
But
hours.
it's my responsibility to carry a metal straw.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to help my environment, and I'm kind of ashamed to be admitting that I'm not carrying straw with me.
Yeah.
And I was glad about the plastic straw.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm very concerned about the paper straws because there are so many fires. We had one in Paphos, I think, a couple of days ago. And all this paper, all those trees that are they say that it's reusable paper and that it's recycled and stuff like that. But I watched a documentary a couple of weeks ago, and it was about how paper straws contribute to climate change.
They do.
They do instead
think-
of
Yeah.
I think because people think it's environmentally
Paper.
friendly and it's paper, they'll just throw it out. They won't even bother to put it in the dustbin. I
Exactly.
think that's the mentality going on right now, because as human species, we don't want to accept that we're destroying our planet. So I think they're always going to find a way to be like, but you said it's environmentally friendly. Why can't I throw it out? Well, it still needs to go recycle. It still needs to, it's just easier to break down in the environment rather than the plastic we use.
Theodora, yeah, I feel that you want to say something.
I wanted to add before that Nena was saying about teaching younger generations. I can't help but wonder if it's too late. Like, we teach the younger generation, but up until they grow up, will it be too late? And also, I feel like we shouldn't just teach only younger kids. We should definitely keep promoting recycling and to adults because I think they're the ones that don't really do stuff. Like they're not included in this. So by informing them, then there's a bigger effect. We shouldn't just focus on the younger children, but we should focus also on the adults.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Of course, yeah.
I was also going to say that what I feel that you're also trying to say is that we, the adults, must act. It's not
Yes.
just
Definitely.
what we say.
Yeah.
It's actually doing the thing. So your child, your nephew, your niece, your grandkids can actually see the example being done in front of them.
And adults have, I think, more power than the kids, so they can definitely do more than a kid could do.
Yeah.
I mean, older adults are supposed to teach us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think we have the stigma that we're not supposed to teach them because they were supposed to teach us. We taught
It's
us.
the hierarchy
Yeah.
of how things
It's
go.
like, you
I'm
should
the
know.
alpha male, so you follow me
Yeah.
and you listen to
But
me.
it's-
Whereas it's wrong in so many ways because
It
you
is.
guys have more to teach us than we do you.
And I think many people, younger people, don't want to accept that their parents or their older friends don't know what's going on, or they do and they don't know the seriousness of it,
Or they don't care.
or they don't care, so they don't bother, I guess, because it was something that's supposed to be taught to us.
Yeah.
So they were like, you were supposed to teach it to us, why should I teach it to you?
Yeah.
I mean, you ignored the fact of doing me the favor of telling me what's going on from when I was younger.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I don't care what you do, let's say.
Yeah.
I just feel like kids, even 5-year-olds, have phones now. And when you're trying to promote something, you should also remember that 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, they're now on TikTok, they're now on Instagram, not Facebook, not anymore.
I mean, they don't act their age at all. They're a lot older
Exactly.
mentally, I think because of the things they've been exposed to at a younger age.
And I just feel
So-
like when an influencer, an activist is trying to promote the environmental issue, I feel like they're all very like for 20-year-olds and for 30-year-olds. That's who they're trying to target.
Okay.
But they're forgetting that they're kids who will be more interested in something more. If they promote their content in a fun way,
Yeah.
kids will be engaged too. So kids will follow them. They'll see what's happening. If you see our Instagram, we have like little gifs and we have like fun minions
put
and
stickers on
emojis and
the-
stickers because we were trying to get the attention of the kids in our primary
Yeah.
as well. And that's how they kind of like stay engaged.
Yeah.
They find it fun and they want to see what's going to happen and they want to see what the next story is going to be. So
But they also want to feel useful
Yeah.
as well.
definitely.
When you give the tools to a 5 or a 6-year-old to feel important and responsible for something, they'll rise to the occasion.
Yeah,
Definitely, of course. But I feel like the post we see about the environment nowadays is just a burned tree or a dead animal. And that's not how you're going to get to the younger population. And I feel like that's not how you're going to get to the older generation as well. Because I feel like we saw so many pictures, so many videos, so many things. But
Yet there's no improvement.
Yeah.
people don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was thinking that maybe the fact that we have this tool now, which is called social media and the internet, I was hoping that maybe that awareness was spreading far and wide compared to like my generation when
I
we
think-
just had books and
I
libraries.
think it's way better than it was, but I think there's still a long way to where.
And also speaking about influencers, when you mentioned that, and we mentioned that earlier, I also feel that if you have, the influencers that we have now, it could be, football stars, boys, boys, they love like Messi and Ronaldo
Yeah.
and Mbappe and all that. Like, I can probably imagine if one of those guys was to do a campaign on the environment, that would definitely spark
For
some
sure,
interest.
For sure, I think.
Yeah, so that's why, Neno. Yeah, you disagree.
No, I completely agree with you. I just feel like some of them are too busy posing for Skims, Kim Kardashian's line, instead of
Ooh, Ronaldo and Messi are posing
Jude
for
Bellingham.
skins.
Jude Bellingham.
No.
He's
Yeah.
too busy being a model for Kim
He's-
Kardashian. They're trying to
Listen,
promote
listen.
something.
Oh, I
for
love
her.
Bellingham. Did he
Wait,
really do that?
he did
We're not
promote-
dishing the Kardashians if I've got any
He
Kardashian
didn't promote
fans here.
Skims, but we didn't see. He's young. He's in the beginning of his career. He still doesn't know what he's doing, and he has to figure it out himself. He still has a long way if he wants to promote
But
environmental.
he is one of the more positive role models for kids, I
If
think.
you
I
see
agree,
him,
but-
he's in his interviews, he's giving credit to backstage people, not only to himself. He seems more humble. He connects with the younger
I
generation.
feel like that's a different topic, though. I just feel like when someone has the power, even smaller influencers, even you have the influence, you have a platform, and you brought us here today.
Yeah.
So I feel like even someone, you don't have the same power as Jude Bellingham, but you're trying to do something.
Yeah.
So I feel like when someone has the power and the influence that small or bigger athletes have, they should try to do something
Well,
about
then you
it.
can discredit a lot of
Should-
celebrities because
I
none
completely
of them have
agree with
done
you.
it either.
Actors, singers, models, influencers that are just famous because of some TikToks that they posted, and now they have like 15, 20 million followers. They're not doing anything. So I feel like everyone should feel a bit ashamed of themselves that they have so much influence, yet they're scared of getting backlash.
You most commonly see smaller influencers
Always.
doing environmentally friendly videos, but you would rarely see
Yeah.
big influencers or celebrities to do this stuff.
Yeah. And also the algorithm will push those smaller
Yeah.
influencers back
Yes.
and forward
Yeah.
the others, and that's what you have now. Side questions, now that you talked about all these influencers with power and everything, did you guys vote in the elections?
So unfortunately, we're under 18 years old.
Yeah.
all
Are
of
you?
us.
Oh, you're not 18 yet.
No.
We're
I'm
both
not.
17 and I think 16.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
try-
15 and she's
Okay, and you're 16. Okay,
Yeah.
We have friends that voted, yeah.
yeah. What was the general feedback that you got from the Euro elect? They've all changed colours here. Okay, you can speak freely.
So basically, my friends that have voted have strong opinions about someone on the panel, let's say.
Someone who was voted in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
A younger person.
Yeah, his name has been mentioned multiple times
Yeah.
on this podcast,
Okay, then.
unfortunately.
So, because even though it's a change, it's a really good change towards, I think, the right direction, I don't think it's the right person
I agree.
because of some of the views he has.
Okay, did you both say you agree?
basically.
Teodora and Nino?
I
Yeah,
completely
okay.
agree.
All right.
Basically, it was good because we see that the people were tired of the same old thing. But on the other hand, I don't think he's qualified enough
Exactly.
to be doing this. I get the message, but again, I don't think it's
Yeah.
the right person.
I agree.
Okay.
It's
Neno?
shocking. It's shocking what he accomplished. It
Yes.
is. Like, we should give him credit for that. It's something. Wow, it's phenomenal.
I
especially
think what
for
it
Cyprus.
demonstrated, though, is the power of social media.
Of
Yes.
course,
Of
the power of
course.
social media and the power of younger people. But at the same time, now after he got elected, his videos keep coming up on my For You page.
Yes.
Stephanie and I, we keep sending each other his videos.
Do you?
We do.
Yeah.
Man,
But there is-
masochists you are. I can't. I'm sorry.
I didn't
But
used
there
to
isn't-
see him on my For You page. I
Yeah,
might
me
have
too.
seen him once, and then
He
when-
comes up on mine
when
as well,
this-
and I never listen or watch, and
Do
it
you
still
know
comes up.
What I don't like is that he says, he starts his videos by, and now that I was elected, let's go for a lesson. What do you mean now that you're elected? Now that you're elected, you're supposed to know what you're supposed
You're supposed to start the action.
Yes, you're
not
supposed
the
to know
lesson.
what you have to do. And he's
Guys,
just starting to learn.
but he was saying, he was saying,
yeah, it
I
wasn't-
don't know,
it
and I'm
wasn't
gonna
his-
learn.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like, wow, props to you for actually learning. But at the same time, what are you gonna do? You don't know anything. It's like, I'm qualified to go as well. Then am I qualified? I'm 17 years old. I don't know anything. I haven't been to the university yet. But at the same time, I'm active. I have so many extracurricular activities that help me understand the issues of our world. Like EYP is something that we have at our school. Debate club. We have EYP and MUN, two very popular extracurricular activities. Mock trial. Even Stephanie helped with that, and Timmy needs help with that. And we call her Timmy.
Stephanie called her Timini as well early, and I was like, "Who's that?"
It's her surname, her surname.
She helped with it as well. She's part of it. She's part
Yeah.
of EYP. And we're learning about issues that are happening in our world. What is he doing? He's buying AirPods every week.
Yeah.
Yes,
What's
I
that?
saw that. Basically,
What's that? See, I don't know.
He
What?
keeps losing his AirPods or forgetting them,
Well,
and he
basically-
buys new
Oh, that's
ones.
not
Yeah.
very eco-friendly,
He
is
Of
it?
course it's not. And he's the example.
Yeah.
He's setting the example for 8-year-olds that watch
Yeah.
him, and they're like, "Oh, he has the money to buy
Yeah.
AirPods every week, or he loses them and he buys new ones. He doesn't care for it." Or like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, what?"
he
Okay.
makes so much money, but where does he use this money to help the community?
The
Yeah.
most ironic thing for me was when he complained about the ads that
The billboard.
The billboards.
billboards,
Yes.
and he said that money can go
Go
to our
to-
community, but and he said that's the reason why he doesn't have any billboards, but he didn't give any money to our community,
Exactly.
which is so
And
funny.
also, it's not only his lack of
Knowledge.
knowledge, also, I think his lack of respect, because everyone, for example, they wears suits because of respect and kind of because he just shows up.
But see,
with-
someone, Theodora, would say that the younger generation prefers I mean, when I saw a couple of videos that I was sent before he was elected. He went to a library in Limassol to speak, I think.
Yes.
And it was almost like he was in his pajamas. Now, I'm all for wearing pajamas. I love pajamas. I will wear them and go out, no problem. But then again, someone would say that the younger generation doesn't like to see that suited up,
I don't agree.
pretend Really?
I
don't
do
either.
That's
not
so
agree with that.
interesting because that's the impression that we have about you guys.
So, you want to go?
Are you?
Go.
Whoever can get it out quicker.
I want to say that when you care about something, you put effort in it. Not dressing up for that means you don't care enough. At least that's my opinion on
Well,
it.
someone could say though that you care about the real issues and not about your
He's
clothes.
going to lessons. Let's remember, he's not actually doing anything
but
right now.
Okay.
I think these clothes just symbolize the respect you have towards the others that are in the
I
room.
understand that we should not discriminate based on tattoos, on clothing, hairstyle. I completely agree with that. I have tattoos myself, and sometimes I wear like very free and very boho shirts. But at the same time, when I know that something is serious, I dress up. I know that I care about it and I want to look presentable, because what if someone sees me? What if a younger kid sees me? I want them to know that when you
Making a good impression.
not only making a good impression, but at least for me, that person who was voted now, there is some, not hate, but questions about him, especially from older generation. Does he not care about them? Is his focus only the younger generation? Because I feel like when you're elected to be someone, to have a power, you're supposed to care for everyone.
For all the people.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
understand he has a target group, but at the same time, he needs to remember that in Cyprus, the older generation, they are mostly the people that vote or that they're more involved. Younger generations
Yeah.
just started being involved.
You could say the same about others, though, that had the target audience only the older people.
I agree, but that's something that's more in Cyprus. It's mostly older people. He's representing the younger generation, so I feel like if he's representing us, he should do it in the right way. I'm so annoyed with
Yes.
the way that he's representing me, the way that he's representing my friends here, the way that he's representing everyone. Because now our older people not gonna take us seriously because they think that we don't care or that we don't put enough effort, because he doesn't. That's my question. That's what concerns
that
me.
was
I
what
think
was
that's one
gonna
of the
say.
scary scenarios. A lot of people who were dead against him being elected into power was this, many of them, me among them, was this. What does this say to the younger generation?
I
Exactly.
think he was trying to say that he was trying to show that the people are tired of the politicians only caring about the
old
older
ways.
generation.
Yeah.
But so he focused towards the younger generation, but that's not what we want. We want
Right.
someone who considers everyone.
Yeah.
So this is the
Our
Well-
thing is that we were annoyed with people only thinking about the older generation, but he
Yes.
only thinks about the younger
Generation.
younger generation. So it's the same situation with just a different age group.
Yeah.
We want someone who actually take action. I don't feel like he's a person who'll do that. I don't think that he'll risk his followers. I don't think he'll risk his platform to make a change. I truly don't, which is
Yeah.
why I feel like he's the wrong person for this. Because I really want to have a discussion with him and understand where his mind is set, because his platform, it's divided in so many different
So,
but I don't understand his point.
this whole thing also
I
led
truly
to him
don't.
gaining followers. So
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
I say something?
Of course you
Yes.
can.
So, I think that because the younger generation was so blinded that someone young and someone they have seen on their social media,
Someone who's almost like a celebrity.
Yeah,
Keep that in
in
mind. Very
Cyprus.
popular.
put, he put so he can be voted.
Yeah. Who's a candidate?
Yeah, sorry, who's a candidate. They were so blinded by just the fact that someone they saw as a celebrity or that he was younger, they just voted for him without thinking
Yeah.
actually what his goals or plans are. And I've seen him speak about what his goals and what he wants to do. I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. My
Well, maybe
opinion
we
is-
should give him some time and the benefit of the doubt.
but I
yeah.
also think with the attire and what he should wear. I mean, we're not saying dress up in a suit, put your dress shoes on, but wear something a little more formal.
Yeah.
Pants. He's wearing shorts. Wear something longer. Wear a proper shirt with no stains or no
Do
rips.
you guys fear that this is the first of many?
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
fear that maybe when you reach my age, you're 40, you'll have kids or you won't, or you'll have a career or not, that the Parliament and the European Parliament will be full of YouTubers and TikTokers? Because I was going to say that
worry.
already now there's a massive percentage of journalists in the European Parliament.
Yeah.
It used to be lawyers. Now that's dropped and we have more journalists, which is actually a good thing.
It is.
But I feel that it's one step before
Yeah.
heading into
I'm-
YouTubers and
I
TikTokers
fear
taking
for
over
that.
your future.
I fear for that because, I mean, okay, no, I'm not gonna agree with everyone. I'm not gonna agree with most of the people or their opinions, but having people that don't know, just because someone has done it now, they managed to get into the European Parliament without knowing a thing about it, barely knowing good English, and just being able to communicate with younger people. I worry that many people are going to try to do the same thing. My friends from my school, I've seen their role models and I can see it in them. Some of the boys in my class, I worry that they're going to turn out like
Yeah.
that person
I
that we're
think-
speaking
Yeah.
about. I mean,
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned boys as well, because it tends to be more boys. Yeah, Theodoramo?
I think so. I agree with Stephanie, but on the other hand, I also think that this had so much effect on us that we're gonna see how ugly that is, and we're not gonna allow it to happen. So it could be one of the two.
I'm sorry, but I feel like the people who did not vote for him knew what, believed the things that we were saying. Like, I would think that they would agree with us, the people that did not vote for him. But the people that voted for him, they will not change their mind. There is a reason they voted for him. And I also think that I'm 17, she's 17, they're 16, 15. And we are doing the Reblue project. We are involved. We are trying to do something, a small change. And not only-
You're actually boots on the ground. That's
Yes.
what you're doing, yeah.
And not only that, I want to study law and I want to become a lawyer. My friend, she wants to study politics and she wants to become a politician. But what worries me is that, yes, we are doing something about it. We're going to study law and politics. But are we going to get chosen? I don't think so, because I
you
have
gonna
some...
have-
I feel like as a 17-year-old,
Yeah.
I have more knowledge than someone who's already elected.
I agree.
Because I don't... He won a car. He does YouTube. But never... His contact was never about an
Anything
issue, a
serious.
world issue. It was always about cars, I don't know.
Yeah. Or and anything of value.
Exactly. If it was someone that actually ever did anything, I would be okay, good, I'm glad.
Don't you think though, Nenomo, that means that you guys who actually care, who are already doing things, should push to be in those spaces where these YouTubers and TikTokers are going?
That's
'Cause
exactly what we're gonna do.
the only way that we can counterbalance this is if we have people like you.
If I'm being honest, I feel like I want to study, I want to have the knowledge, and I want to be able to represent the younger generation in the future, and I hope I'll get to do that. Same as my friend who's studying politics, I want to be able to do something in the future. I know how to use social media, I know how to talk to the younger generation, but I also feel I know how to talk to the older generation.
Okay.
And I also feel like I don't really care about if I ever hope I manage to do something, or I hope I ever get to the level that he is, to be honest. Because now
To have that much influence, you mean?
Yes, that much influence, and to be voted as a not to be voted, but to be a candidate. I hope I ever get to do that.
Not that I want to switch it to gender, Nenomo, but I can't help but wonder that if he was a girl,
he would not be taken seriously.
If he would be taken in the same way,
He would
seriously.
not be taken seriously. That is
There
so
you go.
Especially here,
Okay.
especially in Cyprus, no
Yeah.
way.
There
They
is
would make
no
a
way.
joke out of her.
Definitely not.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, agreed. We're all agreed on that.
It's funny because even in our school we had so many struggles with gender, and we had so many little workshops, I'm gonna say, about gender equality and sexism and harassment. But at the same time, I feel like even my classmates who learned and who had those workshops, I don't care. They shut
Going through
down.
one ear, coming out the other.
Yeah, they
basically.
shut down, and I see that a lot nowadays.
Why? Is it because of the way it's taught? Or because they're just
both?
angry and desperate and
First of
there's
all,
no hope?
I feel like the workshops that we did, some of them, they're boring. Even me, they're boring. They don't keep you entertained and engaged. I feel like when you're trying to do something, even if it's about gender, even if it's about our environment, like we said before, you should remember who you're talking about.
It's
to
not
keep them-
stimulating enough.
No, it's not. It never is. And I feel like the way that they're growing up, especially here, because they see what's happening with their parents, or their parents don't care enough to teach them. So I feel like
I think with the influences now, if a person that has a lot of following makes a joke, sexist joke,
Yeah.
or a sexist joke, let's say, or a racist joke, or any kind of
Or
joke, that's
homophobic joke.
homophobic joke, they'll be like, oh, he said it, he's not in trouble, he's okay, I can do the same. Why can't I do the same?
and
Well,
they're
Stephanie
idols.
Moore, excuse me, in 2016, they literally voted in Trump. Okay.
I know.
So all
Yeah.
these little people who were thinking, should I maybe say that? Is it okay to believe?
They're like,
When you voted in the most powerful man who is sexist and all those things,
And he's
then
now
of course,
selling his mugshots.
and now he's selling his
Yeah.
mugshots and Bibles. Did you hear he's selling Bibles and
Bibles.
sneakers? Yeah.
Wow.
Because he's a
Great.
poster kid for religion. Anyway, let's not get into that. But yeah, when you have especially boys and young men seeing this kind of behavior and attitude being rewarded,
Yeah.
that is the problem.
Yeah. It's the main issue we have in our society.
Yeah.
It's basically that's all there is. If someone sat Trump down in a higher position, be like, you should stop talking, you should think about what you're saying, you should not be against anyone because of the race, gender, whatever, then other people would start doing the same, I
Well,
think.
he would literally be in jail. He can still be
Wasn't
in.
he in jail?
No, he might be going,
Oh.
even though it's not. But he can still be acting president
Yeah.
from in a jail cell.
But he can, past felons cannot even be candidates, but he can be president.
Yes.
It's so funny.
Yes.
But I just want to say that what you said, if someone in higher position told Trump what to do and what not to do, is he a child? Because
Yes.
in our
He's a
society,
man-child, men or
He
more.
is
Yes,
a
that's what
child.
he is.
our society, we keep having, we keep excusing people.
Yep.
Especially, I don't want to target any gender. I truly feel like equality for me is a very important thing. Even since I was younger, I remember I was in year 2 and I was crying with my friend in the toilet because I'm not equal with some guys. I remember it so well. But I feel like we have people excusing men's behavior. They're not...
They're immature.
They're immature. The girls
Boys will
mature
be boys.
much earlier. Yeah, boys will be boys. And
They're still too young.
Yeah.
You
I
grew
un-
up faster
I
than that.
understand freedom of speech. I understand that anyone can be. We shouldn't stigmatize anyone. But at the same time, we had 2 brothers a couple of years ago who kept saying the worst possible things that a woman can hear. Not only a teenager, not only a 5-year-old, but a 25-year-old, a 35-year-old, and a 67-year-old.
Yeah.
Every woman was targeted by the things that they said, yet my classmates were idolizing them. It's
yeah.
so hurtful.
It's cool.
It's so hurtful towards us and towards their mothers And I'm so shocked.
Yeah, well, don't be, because right now we're voting into, and I don't mean the guy that we were talking about earlier, also mean like the far right. We have Elam, who's now third party in Cyprus. There are lots of scary things happening, especially when it comes to women and girls. Like we're literally talking about reproductive rights being taken away from us. There's a huge possibility that will happen. Men and boys don't understand that. I have 3 boys. I make it my mission in life to inform them. I can't go too deep with them because I'll lose them.
Yeah.
As you said earlier, Theodora, keep it simple, and that's what I try to do. But at the same time, it's a continuous struggle. I have to keep doing it, keep saying it, keep picking up on behavior, keep leading with example when we're out and about and we see something.
Even though that's what everyone should do, I
That's
want to congratulate you because there's many people that don't. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen their child act away in front of me, to my friends, with their mother there.
Yeah.
I know their mother,
Yeah.
and their mother doesn't say anything, laughs, jokes about it. I'm like, come
I know,
on.
I know.
It's so frustrating.
I know. It is. It's a continuous struggle. Unfortunately, it's what we say many times, that not everyone is supposed to be a parent. Not everyone should be raising kids in this world. I wish, that straight parents would go through the same loopholes that gay parents have to go through.
I definitely agree. And the fact that they say that, I mean, gay people at least want the child.
They know.
They
know
what
they've
they
literally
want.
thought about it, and they're dead sure that they want it.
Exactly.
Even though
and
when
they
I
work
come
so
to my
hard.
gay friends, I'm like, "You sure? You sure? Like, do you know what this means?" I'm like, "No, we want it." So
But
yeah.
that shows how much love they will have for
Yeah.
the kid.
Again, this goes back to what we said for climate change as well, that adults don't do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And again, you see, it's all because of the adults.
Yeah.
And we only inform the younger audience, but not the adults.
I'm with you, Theodora. I swear I'm with you. I
Same.
will be on team kids, no more team adults. So let's end with that you just said now. So my last question was, what do you want from the adults in the room? What do you want from the older generation? What should we be doing and what should we stop doing?
Definitely start listening to the younger kids and include them. Like, they have something to say and you should hear it. And also try and understand it. And also...
And if you don't understand it, ask.
Exactly.
Ask questions.
And try to take part in activities for climate change, for women's rights, anything. Just try and be involved, because that will set a good example for the kids.
Save bottle caps. That's a small thing. Just
I
save
have-
your bottle cap.
I have something to add.
Forget about women and gay people. Let's save the bottle caps. I love that. You're so right. Let's do like Yaya. What's Yaya's name?
Maggie.
Maggie. Okay, let's do like Yaya Maggie and collect all the bottle caps.
I think the adults should consider the kids, as you call them,
Yeah.
as actual people with opinions that are correct, most of the times are correct.
Yes.
I think you should stop judging them just because of their age, because that is ageist. And also, I think that the adult, it's not their fault because their parents disappointed
They're a product
them.
of their time.
They
Yes.
don't know any better.
So I think that adults should be considerate of what's going on, not only think about themselves because that's being selfish. And I think they should hear out the younger generation and start doing something because they are more than half the population, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Neno?
Personally, I feel like even if I talk to parents or to older people, not a lot of things can happen because of where we live. For me, the biggest thing is the car. How we always use the car, even if it's somewhere that's 10 minutes away, we'll use the car because we can't use something else. It's so hot. I cannot.
Well, not only is it hot, it's actually dangerous as well. I mean,
is.
you
And
have
our
a death wish when you get on a bicycle anywhere outside of the centre of
Yeah, and also in
Nicosia. I know
Cyprus-
my Gomera does it, but
And around that, we don't have sidewalks, we don't
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
bike lanes, we
Yeah.
don't have anything.
Yeah.
And not only that, I need to ask my mom to take me everywhere.
because you can't take the bus.
I
Yes.
can't take the bus. So for
Because
me,
even that doesn't work on time.
Yeah.
Yes.
not on time. I don't know how it works.
And you don't.
When I go abroad, I am so excited. I'll show you on my phone later. I have like the metro map for some countries,
Yeah.
and for the buses as well. Because for me, it's amazing. I love taking the bus. I love taking the metro. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, metro, we can't have that in Cyprus, but a good bus system we can't, because during the summer you can see how many kids my age and younger take the bus to go to Ayia Napa and to Limassol because their parents are working.
Yeah.
So I would say someone with power in Cyprus,
Yes.
I would tell them that please try to do
Fix
something
it.
about the buses.
Public
Yeah,
transport.
public
please.
transport,
Come on.
exactly.
Yeah.
In what date is it today? It's tomorrow. Actually, I'm going with Stephanie for Mathitiki, for the
Oh, for the driving license?
driving license.
Oh, good luck.
Thank you. So, like in 3 months, I'll have a car. I hope so, at least. But what about the younger kids? They always have to ask their parents to take them somewhere. They're so dependent. And I feel like that goes back to the trash thing, to everything.
Yeah.
We're so dependent
Dependent
on
on it.
everything for our parents that we don't do anything anymore.
100%
Yeah.
right, yeah.
If our kids, if we're a little bit more independent by taking the bus, by doing something, by going to school on our own in the morning, by taking the bus,
Waking up by ourselves.
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like everything, every small thing contributes, every little thing. So I would ask someone that has power, just please help the kids in Cyprus be a little more independent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Allow them to be, because often
Yeah.
the kids do actually
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
be. It's the
Yeah.
parents
Yeah,
that won't
exactly.
let them.
Because the parents are scared. If you go outside now, you'll be scared to cross the street because
Yeah.
we don't even have traffic lights.
Yeah.
enough
They're
traffic
rightfully
lights.
scared, but they shouldn't be.
But
And
imagine,
we have to fix this.
but imagine how much we would help the environment if we had buses.
Yes.
How much? Because I mean,
Normal buses with bus schedules and
Yes.
everyone
Yeah.
can have access to them.
Yeah.
And not
Actual
a-
operating
Yeah,
vehicles.
because we do have buses. I don't know if they work.
Yeah.
And my mom's friend, she was telling me how she got burned from the sun while waiting for the bus
Yeah.
because they're not even bus stations.
We don't have bus
nothing.
stops. No.
It's fine.
And you know, the funny thing is that most of our public transport is being used by immigrants.
Yes.
Obviously, because they can't afford a car. And the reason why Old Nicosia, where we are right now, has many immigrants is because the bus stations
It's right
are
here.
right here. So the people live in the area and they take the buses to their work and back again. And we don't even have bus stops. There are literal just poles
Yeah.
in the middle of the road, and you see like 5 or 6 or 10 immigrants standing there, and you're wondering now, is this the better future that they came for here in Cyprus?
I've seen someone just put their hand out in the bus stops. There wasn't even a pole.
There wasn't even a pole, so just the
Nothing.
hand.
Yeah, I was in the bus
is the
coming
indicator.
home from Ayia
There you
Napa
go.
with my friend and just
We found a way to make it work.
But like for me, it's even more shocking that we're growing up, we're going to different countries alone without our parents, without anything.
Yeah.
Yet my friend here, Stephanie, she took a public bus 2 years ago for the first time because she lives in Cyprus. I also live in Cyprus, but my parents are from Georgia. Every summer I'm there. I take the bus, I take the metro, so I'm more familiar with it.
Yeah.
And I was so shocked when we went to a school trip in Serbia. And my friends told me that it was their first time taking the public bus.
Yeah.
Because that's where we live. And to be honest, if the bus problem remains in Cyprus and I'm here and I have a kid, I would not let my kid go and take the bus. Because what if they miss the bus? They'll have to wait 40 minutes in this heat, in this weather for the next one to come.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
No.
And I feel like everything that we mentioned today, even if people feel like we're not really talking about the environment.
No, it's all
if
connected.
you think about it, everything goes
Yeah.
back to the environment. The idols that kids, the influencers that kids idolize, they talk about the wrong things. They're the wrong influencers. They idolize the wrong people. And I feel like parents should keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The buses, it's a huge thing for our environment. the people that we are electing that are scared to do anything about the environment, to take action.
Yeah, look at the Green Party, complete downhill. Yeah, and even in the European Parliament as well, they've lost a lot of seats.
He had a meeting with them.
He,
I saw it on
he who
TikTok.
we shall not name. Okay, all
And we're
right,
not talking about Voldemort.
right. Okay, well, we've been recording for 1 hour and 12 minutes. I bet you didn't feel that it was that long. Yes. I want to thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. I really, really enjoyed this. Thank you so much. I hope you did too.
We have to say thank you as well
Yeah.
for having
Thank
us
you
here.
so
It was my absolute pleasure. And stay powerful
Thank you.
and keep doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so
We're
much.
very happy for the opportunity that we have, because
Yeah.
kids our age don't have this opportunity.
Yeah.
So we're very thankful.
Yeah.
I'm here. Whenever you want to say something, I'll have the microphones on. Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
you.